All right, regarding the recent, I'll call it a setback with the Saudi OPEC production cuts and price increases, you know, Joe Biden's a little too much human rights and not enough domestic oil production. At least those are some of the factors. Anyway, we're going to bring in a real expert, General Jack Keane, retired four-star general, Fox News senior strategic analyst, chairman of the Institute for the Study of War, Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, and my friend and mentor, General. Welcome. On set. Love it. Now, I got to look at this is from day one, even during the campaign, but from day one, all Joe Biden has done with the Saudis is harp on human rights, human rights, human rights, OK? And the Khashoggi assassination, which MBS denies, but whatever. I don't think you can conduct a relationship as complex as that just on one point of human rights. And I wanted to get your take on it because you've been deeply involved in these things for many years.
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I mean, Saudi Arabia and the United States are different countries. Our values are different. But we have common interests. And for 80 years, beginning with President Roosevelt, we have had a strategic partnership with Saudi Arabia. And it has always operated for those 80 years at an intersection that involves what is good for the United States national interests and also what is good for Americans' values. And Republican and Democratic presidents have found through those many years a way to balance both of those concerns for the betterment of the American people. So when you put America's values front and center at the expense of national security, as the president appears to be doing, that harms the relationship. And what it really does is it advances Iran in the region.
Right.
Our strategic enemy in the region is Iran. And their number one strategic opponent in the region, who has the most wealth and the most might, is Saudi Arabia, and all the Arab states follow their lead pretty much. So that is what the issue is. And can you imagine, from Saudi Arabia's perspective, President Biden becomes president. He's already told the world that Saudi Arabia is an international pariah. Yeah. Now, President Trump wire-brushed the Saudis over the Khashoggi affair, which was a horrific event, and they were held accountable for it. But he didn't change the strategic partnership as a result of it. President Biden also stopped a military shipment that was initially going to go to Saudi Arabia around the time of his assuming the presidency, shut it down cold, and at the same time reached out to Iran to renegotiate a flawed nuclear deal. That's what the Saudis saw at the beginning of the Biden administration. And then, because they have alternatives, the Saudis start to move a little bit to get assistance from Russia and to China, because they believe, given the evidence, the United States is pulling away. And that's what precipitated Biden to go there. Yes, he wanted increased oil production, but he also knew that Russia and China were about to replace the United States in the Middle East, and he wanted to salvage it. And what has happened to us here, we're back destroying this relationship again.
Yeah, if we blow this relationship up. Now, Biden says yesterday, I think it was yesterday, there'll be consequences. You know, after the election, there'll be consequences. Some Democrats are talking about, well, the Justice Department is going to be able to sue Saudi Arabia, which is just utter nonsense. We're going to remove our weapons, take our troops out. That'll push them further toward Russia and China, which is stupid. And I also want to read, look, I don't want to defend Saudi's human rights record either.
No, it's not defensive.
I agree with you on this. The strategic view has to prevail. Both Saudi Arabia and the neighboring UAE, they're both big producers of OPEC. I'm just reading this from today's, I don't know, someplace, Washington Times. Anyway, they both voted in favor of the UN General Assembly resolution Wednesday, a week ago, to condemn Russia's attempted illegal annexation of the 4 provinces. And earlier, they voted with the United States to condemn the Russian invasion and protect sovereign borders. So they're not all bad. They haven't deserted us. And just to drop gas prices a nickel or a dime to undermine a very important relationship and the whole balance of power in the Middle East vis-a-vis the Abraham Accords just strikes me as a huge diplomatic blunder.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, OPEC, as we've seen through the years, they operate in their own self-interest. This is an organization that's about, they want stability, certainly, in the oil market, but they're also in the business of making money. And that's the reality of what has taken place here. And the fact that this administration already passed up the huge opportunity to produce more ourselves is really the lame decision the administration made. We know the crunch we're in here, given market realities dealing with oil, and we could have solved this problem ourselves. And the fact that we're looking towards Venezuela to help us, I mean,
a human rights,
a human rights violation.
Human rights.
I mean, it's horrific. Even to put it on the table as an option is an absurdity, much less a serious consideration.
So the internal contradictions. You know, we're producing 11.8 million barrels a day. We were producing 13 million barrels a day pre-pandemic. The Energy Information Agency said back in 2020 that by now, 22, we would be producing 14 million barrels a day. That's the I want lower gasoline prices too. That's the answer. You're not gonna slam bang the Saudis into it. You're right. They have to act in their own economic self-interest. But we could have whooped them on that. We had them, and we dominated them.
I mean, we let the carbon emission strategy of the administration dominate our own economic well-being and also influence our national security policy. And it really is one of the lamest decisions I've seen being made. And it's really unfortunate. And the American people suffer the consequences of it. And certainly our relationships in the Middle East, which is always going to be a volatile area as long as Iran is up to its mischievous ways. And they are up to it.
And Israel hates it. And we love Israel. And the Saudis didn't join officially, but they backed the Abraham Accords, which was a great triumph of diplomacy, I think, in the Trump years.
Yeah, the Abraham Accords are crucial. The Saudis really will be a part of the Abraham Accords when the king passes. He doesn't want to vote for that because of his bias for the Palestinian issue. But Mohammed bin Salman, his mentor is Mohammed bin Zayed from the UAE, who was the first to start the Accords. And I mean, the word is well known in the Middle East that Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince, the de facto leader of Saudi Arabia, will be very supportive of the Abraham Accords publicly at some point. He is supportive of it privately.
Good. Yeah, no, I don't want to excuse the Saudis on human rights, but you have to have a strategic view, and you want lower gasoline prices, produce more. I mean, it's just that simple. General Jack Keane, thank you, sir. We appreciate it very much.